small med ball. Okay, so a light med ball here. We're going to get in a step back position with our ball turned towards the front leg. So my left leg's in front, I'm turned towards the left. I'm going to stand up, bring my trail leg, and turn towards that new front leg. So my rear foot is going to come up, I'm going to turn towards it. So here is the whole move. Trying to get a nice big turn in there. All right, so we'll get the pattern for that as we're warming up. And then here's what it looks like full speed. I'm going to try to get a little jump off this ground leg. Here, boom. So I'm bringing this knee in and the ball across. So I'm fighting these across, getting a lot of core work in there. And I'm trying to stay in the same spot, jumping straight up. From there, we're going to come here. We're going to have a step back and a step up. So I'll start in front of the box. I step up with my right. I go back down to my left, and then I go down into a step back. Okay, so it's step up, step back. Step up, step back. We can add weight holding here. Step up, step back. We can add weights holding here. You're able to hold a little more weight here and work the legs a little more. Up here is going to be more core and get a little more cardiovascular challenge to it. We're going to do 6 step ups on each side. So up and back is 1, 6 on the right, 6 on the left. On our chops here, we're going to do 6 to 8 on each side there as well. And then the final thing in the circuit, we'll kneel down, toes pointing. We'll get a band go behind our back. We're going to press out and pull in. Press out and pull the shoulder blades in. And our goal here is to bring the shoulder blades in. I'm trying to bring my elbows and my hands in as well, but I'm not pulling them forward and around. So I don't want to come in the front here. See how that band's starting to wrap around my arm? I need to be upright, and the band is almost trying to stay off me. So I'm working a lot of that external rotation. Try to pull those hands in, squeeze those shoulder blades in, and then press back out. So the pull in is going to be where the magic happens. Try to pull in as far as you can. We'll get 12 there. We'll run through this 4 times. We have our chops, 6 to 8 each side. We have our step up, step back, 6 on each side. And we're going to do 10 to 12 here, one side only, 4 rounds. So we're going to have a bridge press for our next round. Get the weights up here to your knees, kind of just pop back like that. You can have someone hand the weights too if you're getting real heavy. That would be nice also. Bridge up, so we're going to be active with our legs. Our feet are driving to the floor. We're pushing our knees forward and keeping those hips up and active. Drive your hands up, pull back down. Press up, pull back down. Notice how I'm keeping my hips up, driving my feet to the floor. Notice how my arms are at a 45-degree angle towards my torso. I don't have my arms way up here, my elbows way out to the side. I have them down closer to my body, pointing more towards my hips, 45-degree angle or less. When I'm done, I drop my hips and come down here. Don't try to set the weights down here. Drop your hips and set the weights down. From there, we're coming over here to a reach row. We're going to have our weight, feet are close together, our weights down into our hips. We're going to set the kettlebells on their edge like this. And also notice how I'm grabbing that top corner. I'm not here in the middle. I'm up here towards this top edge, top corner. Sit your butt down, roll to your hips, reach back out, touch the ground. Roll to your hips, reach back out, touch the ground. I'm keeping the weight centered. I'm trying not to rock. You saw a little rock there. I'm trying not to rock my body. Push your toes down, keep your heels down. Set the weight, get a really big reach. I'm trying to reach out forward as far as I can. I'm gonna get 8 to 10 reps. 8 to 10 reps here, try to get heavy. Each move, take a little rest between. Let your heart rate come back down. Minute or 2 rest. 8 to 10, each one. We've got 4 rounds here. The third circuit's gonna start with a constant squat. We're gonna hold a kettlebell up here. We're gonna have a wide stance. Okay, so we're gonna start real wide, and we're gonna squat off to one side, load into that hip, press back up. Load into that hip, press back up, okay? So our foot position never changes. What I am doing is I'm trying to keep my torso up. You'll have a tendency to want to fold here, and that's not loading your hip at all, that's using your low back. Set the hip down, drive the hip up, okay? We're gonna do 8 to 10 on each side. Then I have my hero board here. We can also use a slider on the turf or a slick floor. We can also use a plate drag, so if you put the plate on the inside of your foot, lunge and drag, lunge and drag. That's an option. If you don't have a hero board, I love using this because it seems to be the smoothest and I can get the most out of it. Load up in that squat and drive up. Load into that squat and drive up. So now we're hitting a little bit more of the inside, the adductor, okay? Load up and then bring them back together. We're gonna do 8 each side here as well. Then we're gonna move on to a hip thrust. So in a perfect world, you're gonna have this bench set up. Make sure your bench is secure, you're not gonna tip it over. You might have one of these, you might have a hip thruster apparatus that sets you up for success with that. I've got the taller plates here, which is nice, but you definitely want bumper plates. This is a hard thing to get into. So I'm gonna show you with the barbell, but if you need to use a kettlebell or a dumbbell on a regular bench, absolutely understand on that as well. Maybe use a single leg option instead of 2, and that'll actually make it more challenging. You can create some stability issues there, and you can use other things besides just gross weight for a challenge to increase the variable. So we're gonna get our feet back. You want the bottom of your shoulder blades on the edge there. We're gonna lift up, put your feet down. When I am in the down position, I want my glutes to stretch, to spread. Then I push my knees forward as I thrust up and my glutes contract. It's important as I go down, I drop into a stretch in the glutes, thrust up, pull down, thrust up. I push my knees forward and I kind of pull my feet back, and that really makes those glutes fire hard. And I've got a strong thrust up. Make sure you push with both feet. Don't let one side take over, and then we return and drop down. Again, it's a good setup if you have the right equipment. If you don't, you can just get a regular bench. Go up here. If you're willing to use the barbell or give it a try, it's kind of a pain in the ass setup. You can also use a kettlebell or dumbbell, or go to a single leg option to make this more challenging. In that circuit, we have your adductor step up. We've got your lateral Cossack lunge. We're doing 8 of those each side. We're gonna try to get 10 to 12 of these heavy hip thrusters, okay? If you're doing single leg, try to get 8 to 10 each side. If you're doing this, if you're really trying to rack this weight up and get this, we're going for 8 to 10. 4 complete rounds there. If you have any questions, shoot them to us. Appreciate you. This one's hard on the glutes. We got a lot going on, so have fun with it. If you got questions, comments, concerns, holler at us, come hang with us in person. Either way, we hope you have a good work.